Hi, I'm Megan.
And I'm Andrew.
And welcome to
Cooking Stage Left,
the show where Andrew teaches me and everyone watching how to make something delicious. So what are we making this episode?
We are making Puffles. Puffles. Puffles is...
It's fun to say.
Puffles. Puffles are puff pastry made in a waffle iron. So we're using our waffle iron again today. Puffles are delicious treats, like a little crunchy croissant-y type thing. You can put any type of toppings you want on them. It's a good dessert. It's a good breakfast type food. So we're gonna make Puffles, which once you see this, it's not even a recipe. You just make it. And so to go on top of our Puffles, we're going to also make an herbed fruit compote, which is gonna be delicious, which again is kind of ridiculously easy. This is one of those easy, big wow factor episodes.
Nice.
So today we're going to be making Puffles and herbed fruit compote. Here we go. Curtains up, burners on. All right, let's go through our ingredients list for our Puffles first. That's it. That's the ingredient list. We are using pre-made puff pastry.
Nice.
So, boom. Puff pastry is an incredible ingredient to play with. Again, big wow factor, easy to use. Comes in the freezer section of your grocery store, and it will look like this when you defrost it or thaw it out. And so we'll talk about how to play with that. So that's it for the Puffles. And then we're also going to make, again, that herbed fruit compote. So we have just some frozen berries there. Okay. Frozen berry blend, and I'm using a 3-berry blend, but you can use just raspberries or just strawberries or just blueberries or just blackberries, again, according to your own flavor preference. Great. I'm going to use some sugar in that, just a touch of sugar to highlight the sweetness. Then we're going to use a little bit of an acid, which we're going to use lemon peel and lemon juice to go in there.
Nice.
And then our herb is going to be a little bit of thyme that we're going to put in there.
Ooh.
And I pulled out some honey too, because you can use honey and additional you can use different sweeteners. So you can use sugar, or you can use honey, or you can use maple syrup, anything like that. Yeah. And so we'll talk about, as we're making it, all the different sort of varieties of how you can make this compote. Again, it's really just an assembly thing, and you know your taste, and so you'll be able to make something delicious with it. So those are our super simple ingredients for our Puffles and herbed fruit compote, and we will get cooking in a minute.
Yay!
All right, so first up, we're going to start making our Puffles, which again is ridiculously easy. So this is our puff pastry again. It's folded up in there, so go ahead and unwrap that. Okay. And as you unwrap it, I'm going to put just a little bit of flour onto the counter. Okay. So we don't stick. So, have you ever worked with puff pastry before?
I haven't.
Okay.
No.
Okay, so puff pastry, do you know what puff pastry is?
Yeah, I've seen on Great British Bake Off.
Yeah. So puff pastry is super, many layers of dough with butter in between. And the magic of puff pastry is what it does is that butter, when it bakes, the butter releases all the steam that's in the butter, and it poofs up. So there's literally thousands of layers of dough and butter in there, and it puffs up. And of course, it's buttery and crunchy and delicious in there. Yeah. But when you get these sheets out, the first thing what you want to do is you kind of want to roll them out a little bit. Okay. So go ahead and just plop it right there on the flour. Right. And you also do want to kind of work quickly with it, because you don't want the butter to melt. Okay, great. And so luckily our studio lighting is not that warm, so we don't have to worry about it too much. We'll roll it out. But sometimes when you make other stuff with it, like if you're playing with it a lot, we're just gonna cut it out and stick it right in the waffle iron here, which I'm gonna turn on as we're talking. But if you're making other things with it, like if you're rolling out little croissants or Danish or whatever, you sometimes want to sort of make them all and then stick them back in the refrigerator for a while so the butter chills up again and can be a little solid. So roll this out, and you kind of just want to get a couple more inches on either side. It's not gonna hurt too much with this one because we're not making any special shapes. There's gonna be no secret sauce to this, but like roll long and then roll across a little bit.
Okay.
Because as it sits in, that package that it makes, it kind of like, it's a little bit smaller. They make it a little bit thicker so they can package it better.
Okay.
But you want to play with it a little thinner. And then every now and then you also just want to like hook up a little bit, make sure that we're not sticking, which is not. It's beautiful. Great. Yeah, and then maybe just maybe a little bit more up there and around the edge,
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of it.
It's great.
We're just. We're just waiting for our waffle iron to heat up now. So in the meantime, what we'll do is we'll just sort of cut some shapes. And you can see from the waffle iron, you get, there's 4 little compartments in this one. And what I usually do is I make sort of like, one to sort of fit each compartment.
Oh, okay.
So you're gonna have little bites, little sort of like, waffle bites.
Sure.
And so if you just want to go ahead and like grid it up and cut out some squares that would fit in there.
Okay.
Like think about sort of like, so think about maybe little
like
3-inch squares. Yeah.
Okay.
Cut it all the way up, and we can just cut a whole checkerboard of them.
All right.
We're just gonna make enough Puffles for like an army, and then we are going to eat all of them ourselves.
Yes.
You probably know the drill already. You probably know how we do that stuff, right?
Yeah, we do.
So, and then cut some squares.
Okay. Is that like sort of the same?
Yeah, sort of the same size. Okay. And we'll fit in. We might only be able to fit in 3 per. The cool thing about it is it makes all types of groovy little shapes and in there, so it doesn't matter if it fits exactly in the 4 grooves. You're only going to get more crispiness in the fit.
This is so sharp. It's like super easy.
Yeah. This is actually like a ravioli cutter or a pasta cutter, and it's so useful for cutting doughs and things like this as well. So boom, ravioli cutter.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to wait a couple minutes. Maybe we will even pause. Okay, so our waffle iron is now heated up. And our puff pastry is cut into cute little squares, and this is the whole thing. This is all you do, okay? So you open the waffle iron, and you put a puff pastry on there.
Great.
Okay, and then you see this one it's already sort of starting to stick, and the butter sort of hitting there. And then you put another one, but again, we're just gonna you want to sort of like.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a good idea.
You want to scoop some up, and then find another and put it in there.
Okay.
So you just put it in the waffle iron. And you'll see too when we cook this, there's so much butter in this puff pastry that as we cook it, butter's just gonna start to like ooze out.
Oh, really?
And that's the whole thing. Now the cool thing is like, got the flippy waffle, right? So let's do the other side. Go ahead, let's drop some in there.
Great.
See, that was just like 3 or 4 minutes that we sort of waited, and it's already like sticking to the counter.
Yep.
And it's not even that like warm in here or whatever. This again, big wow factor thing. Like if you're bringing something to like a brunch or a breakfast or even whatever, a dinner party for like a dessert type thing, people will think you are a genius for bringing Puffles. They will like sing your praises. You will get free shots, whatever it needs. Whatever people will love you forever if you are the one that brings the Puffle to the party.
Puffle to the party.
Bring the Puffle to the party. That's us. On cooking stage left.
That's right. You can do your sincere bow.
Yeah. It's opportunities. It's a good time. You should practice it while the Puffles are cooking.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, have you practiced yours?
I don't. Yeah.
I mean, now that you're
okay. Yeah.
Now that you're learning all this, right? You're gonna have to. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. That felt very humble.
Yeah, very.
That felt very
much
humble.
like,
yeah.
Like I'm taking the praise, but I'm a little bit.
Yeah, I like how it's just like a little bit of the head too, like just in the head, like it wasn't like a full body. It was just a little bit sort of like. Yeah, that felt.
I learned from the.
I'm gonna pretend to cry. That was so beautiful. Yeah, that's how sincere that was.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So you have to keep yourself entertained because this recipe is so easy.
Yeah.
That you actually just have to enjoy yourself while it's cooking. Can you smell that little bit of like burning butter action going on? Yeah. My mouth is watering already.
Oh gosh, it smells
this is
so
delicious.
Good.
Yeah.
It smells so good.
Yeah. And usually with things like this, again, the waffle iron will sort of tell you when it's ready. It'll just sort of like, start to.
Ooh.
Little treat. I love to get a little bit browner.
Yeah.
Browner.
Yeah. That's great.
So, what sort of things would you put on a puffle?
Yeah.
Right. So, just you could sprinkle some sugar, some powdered sugar on it. As soon as it comes out.
Yeah.
Something like a chocolate hazelnut spread would be really delicious on it.
Yeah.
Any types of jam or jelly.
Yeah. Cinnamon sugar, maybe.
Yes, cinnamon sugar. All that type of stuff.
Yeah.
You could do you could actually make like a chocolate ganache glaze and dip them in there and do like a full on that's gilding the lily. That's really that's over the top.
True.
Yeah.
It's true.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it. Yeah. It's good.
You can just melt some chocolate chips into a pan and then just pour that in. It's your dipping sauce.
That's kind of how I make my chocolate ganache. Is I melt I melt chocolate chips and then I just put actually sour cream in it, and it makes ganache like that.
What?
Yeah, we'll do that sometime. We'll do that.
Oh
I mean, I just gave you the recipe, but we'll do that.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's really easy. And from chocolate ganache, look, we're doing a whole another recipe.
We're doing
from chocolate ganache, you can make obviously frostings and things like that. You can make dips, or you can make little chocolate truffles out of it. You put it in the refrigerator and you just sort of scoop it out. And
I would never have thought to put sour cream in there.
yeah, I learned that one years and years ago, and it's brilliant because normally when you make ganache, you heat cream and then you put chocolate into it, and you have to stir it and make sure that it's careful. This one, you just melt some chocolate chips in a double boiler, drop in some sour cream, stir it till it's shiny.
Sounds amazing.
We'll do it sometime.
Yeah, we'll do it.
I'm thinking these might be close to ready.
Yeah. Those look really
They're
good.
puffing up.
Yeah, they're puffing up a lot.
Yeah, I'm going to give it one more, maybe 30 more seconds.
Okay.
Click, click.
Ooh.
And there it is. A puffle.
Oh my gosh.
A puffle.
That looks so good.
So we're just going to start to build our plate of puffles.
It smells so good too. You can really smell the butter.
I can already hear the speeding up music in my head. It's just sort of because we're going to speed this part up.
Good. Good.
Good stuff.
Oh yeah, those are looking good.
There's just butter steam in the air right
Yeah.
now. I wish you could feel that because it's just it's like when the fog rolls in, but it's butter. You just want to lick the air right now. But that'd be weird.
Would it though? So no, you can do it. No judgment.
I didn't get very much butter flavor on that one.
Butter fog.
Butter fog sounds like it's our garage band. When we're not doing this, when we're not doing our garage cooking show, we have a garage band. We're called Butter Fog.
Butter fog. It's like a perfect name for the San Francisco Bay Area.
Yeah. Butter Fog.
Yeah, butter fog.
Yeah. Hello, Detroit.
We are butter fog.
Yeah.
Good.
We would still wear our aprons, I think.
Oh,
Yeah, for sure.
absolutely.
Yeah. What? Is there any other thought?
Is it? No, yeah.
Okay, those look amazing.
They look great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. So there it is, full plate of Puffles.
Fantastic.
So delicious, yeah. And we're going to refrain from eating these right now, so we can.
Oh, we are.
So we can make our topping, our herbed fruit compote.
I'm very excited about
Yeah, very excited both. Puffles.
it. Yay!
Alrighty, now we're ready to make our herbed fruit compote to go on top of those Puffles or on top of anything. Great for cake topping, great ice cream topping, great anything. And it's kind of like a fast jelly. So you can put in your fridge and have it for a couple of days. Delicious. And it's Again, it's so easy. You're going to be like, why are they even doing this? Why are they even talking about it? So again, we've got a couple bags of frozen berries here.
Okay.
And we'll talk about, as we said, like all the variations. So this is a mixed berry blend. It looks like strawberries, blackberries, and blueberries. And we're just pouring that in there. And like, I'm putting them right in frozen, like, you know, because we're cooking them, so not a big deal. So what you want is you want your berries, you want some type of sweetener. And we had talked at the top of the show of doing sugar, but then Megan honestly got all excited about seeing this honey that I had. This is actually a thyme-flavored honey. Oh. It's pretty subtle, so we're going to use that. So why don't you put like a, you know, maybe like a teaspoon or two in there of the honey.
Okay, great. Is that enough?
Yeah. And then we'll do one more. We'll do one more. We'll do two of those, actually.
Oh. So excited. I've never seen thyme honey before.
So sugar or honey or maple syrup. You could technically, honestly, leave the sweetener out because it's berries and they're going to have their own sweetness. But the sweetener also helps the berries just release some of their juices as well, and helps it sort of like thicken up a little bit. Mm-hmm. So you can use this to sort of scrape that, and then you can use this as your stir spoon.
Perfect. Excellent.
And then we're going to use some lemon zest in there.
Nice.
So I'm just going to zest like a full lemon to give it some nice sort of like bite in there. You can hear it starting to cook already.
Yep.
So again, you can use a variety. You can use some lime zest. You could use orange zest. You could use any type, you know, I just happen to have a lemon on hand. And so any type of zest to sort of like give it a little bit of like pucker. And then we will use the juice of like half this lemon in there. So that was maybe, you know, it's maybe like a half teaspoon of lemon zest by the time you get it all done in there. Mm-hmm. And then I will juice half this lemon directly in there. And again, whatever type citrus you can use, or acid in general. So you could use lemon, you could use lime, you could use orange, grapefruit. You could use a little bit of like a vinegar, like a sherry vinegar or a balsamic vinegar. So it's looking like I'm probably getting like maybe a healthy tablespoon in there, right? So that's sort of, again, and that gives it a little bit like, boom.
Yeah.
And then we're doing an herb. And the herb we're using is we're going to use a little bit of thyme.
Okay.
Here's where, again, get creative. So thyme, rosemary, basil, sage.
Yeah.
Any of those would be, or a combination of that. You could also go a little bit up and you can use a little bit of like black pepper. Ooh. Or you could use a little bit of like, you know, spicy, you know, sort of like, you know, roasted red pepper or crushed red peppers. So I'm looking like that's probably like a healthy, like, you know, almost a teaspoon. You know, I'd probably say between half and a teaspoon there. And I'm using dry because when you cook things up, dry actually is going to sort of like release its flavor really nicely, but fresh herbs certainly would be beautiful in this as well. Nice. So either one. So that's it. Like, we just made it. All you have to do now is cook it down for maybe like, you know, 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay.
One of those great things, if you're doing it again, if this is going to be your wow dessert, you can just like put this on as you're cooking dinner and just like leave it sort of like bubble away on the stove there and just check it every now and then. But I don't know if you can see into the pot there, but we're already getting some nice sort of like sauciness in the bottom of the pot there.
Yeah.
That it's releasing some of its juices.
Yeah.
And with the honey that we put in there and some of the sweeteners that are naturally in the berries, that will sort of start to thicken up. And then as the berries kind of defrost, we'll also just kind of mush them a little bit. Okay. And that's the whole recipe. I know, this is
yeah.
I feel like we're cheating a little bit. Like we're getting like we're shortchanging folks a little bit. But again, like easy things, big wow factor. Yeah. So we're just gonna cook this down for a little bit, and we'll be back to eat. Yeah. We'll be back to eat. Yay. Okay, so our fruit compote, our herbed fruit compote is done. Again, it's our mixed berry thyme compote. And as we were cooking it, we will say we did a little taste, and it was pretty tart. So we added like another tablespoon of sugar in there. So again, we had like 2 teaspoons of honey and then about a tablespoon of sugar, and it's delicious. And you can see it's it's thickened up just a little bit. It's still pretty warm. As it cools, it'll thicken up even more. But you can have it just like this. Like imagine that warm over ice cream would be fantastic.
Yeah.
So you could do a little like Puffle sundae too, like a little like Puffle ice cream, warm compote. Yeah, that'd be really fantastic. So as I'm just gonna grab a Puffle here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm gonna grab two because who am I lying? Who am I lying to? I know I'm gonna have more.
I'm gonna actually just dip it.
You're gonna just dip right in?
I'm gonna dip it right in.
All right.
All right.
It's a little warm, sort of. Ooh, I can hear that crunch. That crunch of the buttery, crispy Puffle. And you're going in for more.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, adding that extra like sugar really helped. I think.
Yeah, and it's still got a nice tartness to it.
It does, yeah. Not too sweet at all.
No, and that and again, we were kind of pardon me as I spoon more on my Puffle. We were kind of cautious with the sweetener too. So again, if you do like it sweeter, just taste it and add more sugar. But
So good.
so tasty, so good.
Yeah.
So crispy. It's such a good combo. It's kind of like it kind of reminded me of sort of a very high-end fancy Pop-Tart.
Yeah.
It's like crispy and fruity. Delicious. Puffles. Herbed. Berry compote. You are welcome.
You're welcome. And if I can do it, you can do it. I think anybody can do this recipe.
Anybody can do this recipe. I mean, anybody with a waffle iron.
Yeah.
And access to puff pastry.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of like it's ridiculous how good this is.
It really is. No.
Try it for yourself. Hey, once again, I'm Andrew.
I'm Megan.
And this has been
Cooking Stage Left.
I'm eating this apple.
Good.
Right in my face.
I totally want to try the cinnamon sugar. Oh, do you have some?
I don't mean cinnamon sugar. I have cinnamon and sugar.
Well, all right. What's my arm?
Want some just regular sugar with it?
Sure, yeah. That's perfect.
Good.
Yeah. I love cinnamon. Let's put cinnamon in my applesauce. Oh yeah. That was really good. Yep.
And we're out.
Uh-huh.